Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in and joining me again. Jean here with another Mars MRO high-rise epic. This time we're looking at a region near Ross Crater on Mars. The photograph we're analyzing is called USGS Dune database entry number 2434-564, and you'll find the link to this page in the video description below as always. Acquired on the 25th of December 2018, and we're looking at 25.1 centimeters per pixel with 1:1 binning. And as always, I'm showing you images are cropped from the JP2 black and white map projected file, and there's a crop from the low-res JPEG looking at the context in which I found these anomalies. So it's within this massive dune field just west of Ross Crater. So we're looking at this region of the circular depression over here, and at the time of this video the JP2 that we're analyzing had not been loaded to Google Earth Mars yet. So this is approximately 57 degrees 57 minutes south, 116 degrees 44 minutes west, and we'll have a look at some of the other anomalies over here as well towards the end of the video. So the first one zoomed out right there, another one of these huge bright disks, and just to give you an idea, there's nothing else like it in the vicinity, and then at 1:1 scale it pops right there in the center of this image. So that's about 5, 10, 15, 12 to 15 meters in diameter, and that small protrusion on it is about 2 to 3 meters in diameter. Let's check that up close, and as always, all the other disks I've shown you in the past seem to be lodged into the surface on the left hand side, and then the right hand side's always elevated off the surface. So check that out, another one of these bright discs, nice round edge to it as well. Yeah, just a few examples of some of the other discs I've shown you. This is from additional discs and blocks in Argaea on Mars. Another disc with a protrusion or part there, very similar in size and design to this one we had a look at. There's another one. This is from Mars, Utopia Planitia, and it's dozens of saucer-shaped objects. And this one seems to have crashed over here. Check out this one. This is about 6 meters in diameter, and it's from another vast debris field found on Mars. So do check out those videos when you get a chance. There's some awesome anomalies in those to show you as well. Next object also zoomed out. Nothing else like it in this entire photograph and the immediate surround. So check that out. It's going at 1:1 scale, and that object is about 15 to 18 meters long, and the larger part, that's about 12 meters in diameter. So what could we be looking at here? Some type of sculpture, maybe a fossil of something. But check out the larger round piece to it on the left, and then the smaller round part to the right. Definitely connected to the larger piece, and you can also see it's got some depth to it. So what the heck could we be looking at there? Just a really weird boulder, or maybe a fossil of some kind. Who knows what these things are. So there's another one, also similar sort of shape. We've got the larger round part and then the smaller part to the right. And this is about 10 meters long, if I can recall correctly. And it looks like a fossilized fish. Check that out. Here we're looking at another hexagonal object. This one's about 10 meters across, and that side there, for example, is about 6 meters long. So we've got 6 by 6 by 6, and very straight, smooth edges. Check that out. Very bright object as well. And some of the others, just a few examples. This is another one I found in part 2. These Sidonian Neolithic artists and builders on Mars. Also got straight edges, check that out. Symmetry and geometry in that, and as well in this piece over here. And each of those sides is also about 6 meters long, as well as with this piece over here. This one's from part 1, the discs and ruins of Pyramus Fossae on Mars. As I say, just a couple of examples. Check that out. This is also zoomed out. And another one of these strange dome-shaped objects with a little protrusion on it. And this piece is about 12 meters across. Nice rounded side. Definitely convex in shape, and then this strange protrusion or part there. Maybe this is even a type of a slot that's been cut into it. Also partially raised on the right hand side. So let's have a look at some others. This is from megalithic ruins and wreckage east of Euripus Mons on Mars, part 1. Also has this strange dome shape to it, convex in design, and also a nice well-defined edge to it, same as this one. I wonder if these aren't fossilized shells. Check out this strange object. I have found many of these as well. We'll have a look at some more examples in a moment. This piece is about 12 meters across, and the dark spot that looks like a hole is about 2 meters in diameter. You've got a larger rounded disc shape, and then the smaller part coming off to the one side. So there's some others. This one over here, for example, is from the discs and blocks of Newcomb. Also got the larger rounded part, smaller piece sticking off the side. Same with this one over here. That one's also got a dark spot on it. This one looks as if it's got a protrusion or knob on it. And check out this one. This one's about 6 meters across. And that's from part 2, the discs and ruins of Pyramus Fossae. Get the geometry and symmetry going on in that piece, guys. Okay, so let's have a look at the anomalies on Mars using Google Mars. Just switch over to the planet Mars there, and turn on the sidebar. And the area we're interested in is located west of Ross. And let's go down there. And yes, the white lines join all the spots where I've discovered strange anomalies. So let's have a look. Those are the ones we just covered. For summary, the circular depression Ross is located here to the east. And let's have a look at some of the other anomalies around here. Got some multiple layers to that object. Check out the 3 protrusions or smaller parts there, arranged in a triangular pattern, symmetry in that design. And we've got a block with a little hole in it. This artifact looks like a disc with a dome on it, the classic flying saucer. There's another circular disc object with a smaller part or protrusion there in its center. Down here, check out this piece. We've got a larger semicircular object as the base, and on top of it this narrow triangular part. There we've got another triangular object. Look at the spacing of the smaller parts on top, also in a triangular pattern. Megalithic slab over there with a little triangular piece coming off out of that carved out region there. That little triangle on top of that larger block, which seems to have a dark spot in its center as well. There's another disc-shaped object. Look at the rectangular slot cut into it in line with that apex of that triangle on top of this disc. Symmetry going on there as well. So let's have a look at some of the other anomalies. More alignment of protrusions or knobs on that narrow piece. So 1, 2, 3 in a row over there. Here we've got a U-shaped object with what looks like a little sphere lying there in the opening. Not sure what's going on with this piece, but it also looks like a disc. Maybe it's bent up over there on the right. Also has a little dome-like feature there on its center. That little crescent object over here. Also I've found many of those as well. And another narrow rectangular piece over here. Straight edges, right angle there. Looks almost like a megalithic slab or block. Maybe even sheet metal. This is where I found these two discs. Very similar in design and shape. And this one over here looks as if it's either parking or leaving this bust up hanger. This looks like a type of a hanger maybe. Get the opening over here, bent in, another disc, also partially buried on the left and elevated on the right, and on top of it a small dome right in its center. Down here, get these two square objects over there with smaller parts on top. Each of these sides is about 6 meters long, almost like a pumpkin seed or plectrum. Here we've got a narrow piece, a line diagonally across that larger square base. More of these parts with little protrusions in their centers. Okay, check out that dome on top of that larger piece. There we've got another saucer or disc-shaped object, about 6 meters in diameter, with a little part on the top casting that shadow in its center. Some more layering in this object, and then this one to the left also has looks like a circular carved out region over there. Let's have a look at one last site. More alignment of small protrusions or knobs on these megalithic slabs and blocks. There's another disc over there, partially covered in sand and dust. Check out that little sphere there. That's about 3 meters in diameter. This long piece is about 15 meters long. And there we've got another disc. What is it with all these discs in this region? Check out this small little object over there. That's about 6 meters in diameter. And it looks almost airborne. And it's on top of this larger piece that looks like some type of wreckage maybe. Wonder if this is some type of radar dome, craft, little structure. There's a piece that seems to be bent over this larger part over there, like a piece of metal that's been bent over. There's another little sphere right there in the center of that object. Check out that protrusion or knob. We're close to the center of that block. And then lastly, you got this strange object. Looks almost like a flying wing design. Very smooth, flat surface. And then that dark spot right there in its center. I wonder if that's some type of wreckage. Another disc. Got 3 smaller parts on it, aligned in a perfect triangular pattern on top. Another multiple-sided, almost hexagon-shaped object there with a dome on it. Looks like a piece of wing, some type of wreckage maybe. The way that square has been hollowed out of that region there. So guys and girls, that's it for this video. I hope you found it informative and interesting. Do share it with your friends and colleagues, your receptive friends and colleagues, put it that way. And let's see, maybe as a growing community amongst ourselves, we can figure out what these anomalies are. It would be great to get boots on the ground, to get side views of these artifacts. We're always seeing top views from the MRO, so let's hope NASA sends rovers or drones down to these, but it doesn't look like it. They're always landing their craft up in the northern hemisphere where we don't find many of these anomalies. So, huge disk west of Ross on Mars. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.